All right, hey guys, it's Dustin here, and I got my good friend Brad Norman here with me today. How you doing, Brad?
Good, Dustin. Good.
It is, it's not Christmas time. We're by the fire. We're in our suits today. It's raining outside, so we want to dive into some real estate. One of the things I'm really excited about is having Brad here. Brad and I met, what, 3-4 years ago?
Yeah, so that.
3-4 years ago. And Brad actually came to the first live event that I ever did here in Vancouver.
That's right, yeah.
And it was great. He came just as an attendee and then basically asked me for lunch.
Yeah, that was
He said, hey, come join me for lunch. And we're actually here right now at this this club that he comes to called the Vancouver Club. And we got together, had lunch, and you were just getting into tax liens and deeds.
That's correct, yeah, just starting out, yeah.
So what's interesting about Brad's story is when he got into tax liens and deeds, he took his time to really get to know the business before he really jumped in head first. So tell us a little bit about, like, when you got into the business, how much time did you spend researching and going to sales before you felt comfortable buying?
Yeah, I pretty went to sale. I pretty went to, like, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 sales. I still drove the properties before I actually purchased anything.
Yeah.
Just to learn about the market and the area, and didn't want to get my fingers burned straight away. And I wasn't expected to get a property at the first auction either. I knew it was going to take some time. So yeah, I would say it was a good 6 months before I bought anything.
Yeah. So what's really interesting about Brad is he went about 6 months and did his homework, learned how to do this stuff, and then in the next 15 months, how much property did you buy, like total value?
It would have been a few $1 million worth.
Yeah.
We bought. It was a gradual increase. We bought 1 property, and then 2 properties, then 15 properties, and then we did another 5 properties. So once we got a system behind it, the business just took off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So what kind of made you want to get into tax lien and deed investing?
So I used to attend auctions in England, but mainly bank foreclosures. And I used to like going to the auctions. I like the buzz of the auction. And when I moved to Canada and being so close to the US, and you don't really get tax sales in Canada like you do in the US, and you don't get it in England. So I like the idea that you could get these properties so cheap compared to what the value is, just because it's based on the tax revenue rather than the actual mortgage on the property.
Yeah.
So that drove me to it. Was the low starting point to put money into the low.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, that's what's great about liens and deeds is that the barrier to entry in it is not nearly as high as other tax lien and deed, or basically other types of real estate investing. So I kind of have some questions here for Brad. So why did you want to get into real estate?
Just for freedom, really. I mean, not saying that real estate is going to you're going to retire and do nothing, but to have the choice to do what you want, to have that regular income coming in every month. So if you say, well, I'm going to go to Asia for a month, or I want to take some time off with the family and kids, you're not tied to an employer.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to work for someone at 9 to 5, being tied to that person. I only take certain days off a year. That wasn't me. I've always had my own business. And I just like the idea of the freedom to choose what you want to do on each day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of a big reason why a lot of people get into real estate is to, whether it's pay off your debt, buy a nice house or a car, just having more freedom to kind of do what you want when you want. Because probably if you're like me, you've kind of been brainwashed on, go to school, get a job, and then, pay your dues and retire. Most people spend the best time of their lives hoping that they're going to be happy in the last part. And, that's kind of one of the things that I wasn't interested in. So, Brad, what's one of the things that you liked about tax lien and deed investing versus other types of real estate investing?
Just because the entry point is so low to get involved, you don't need a lot of money to get started. So my first deal was $6,000 for a house.
Okay.
Which is really low compared to Vancouver or England. You're looking at 1.7 million to get a house. So the entry point to start off this business is so low. And what I liked about it is, whereas normal auctions are put on by companies, the tax sales are put on by the accountant. So it's a different perspective selling. They're not trying to get the highest price they can get. They're just trying to get their tax revenue back to support their infrastructure and their schools and stuff like that. So that's why I liked the tax sale business.
So you got it for 6, and then what? Did you sell it? Did you make some money on it? Or?
Yeah. So that was my first newbie mistake. I bought it for 6. It was assessed at 100.
Okay.
And I bought it in December in the tax sale, and by the end of January, I got offered a cash offer, as it was. All I'd done was cut the grass, and I would have made $20,000 in a month. But me being a newbie at the time, I decided to do the rehab, remodel the whole property. It took like 7 months.
Okay.
Yeah, I sold it. Once it was done, I sold it in 3 days for $99,000, but I still only earned $20,000.
Oh, interesting, hey?
So yeah, that was one of the big learning curves.
Yeah.
Not be greedy. If you get a cash offer and you can get that money and then reinvest it straight away, then definitely do that. Which I did. I've just done that in Maryland with a couple of houses. So yeah.
Yeah, one of the strategies is if you're selling a wholesale deal, you can sell them so much faster, because a lot of the times if you fix it and put it for market value, you're competing with all of the other properties out there. So here's one that comes up all the time: is like, were you skeptical of tax liens and deeds, or even skeptical of our company when you first heard about it?
Yeah, well, I was skeptical because I couldn't, being from the UK and also Vancouver, I couldn't believe properties were that cheap, and also that the city would sell the properties just for the taxes. It didn't make any sense. But the only way you're going to find out in this business is if you go to a county auction, you do the work, you drive the properties, you go to the county, you speak to county officials, and you find out for yourself. But yeah, that's I was skeptical at first. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a big one. Like, so many people are skeptical, or they've been burned before on real estate training programs. And obviously, with liens and deeds, everybody asks like, oh, if this is so good, then why isn't everybody doing it? Which is kind of one of the things.
Yeah.
That
I even get that now.
Yeah, you get that a lot.
Yeah, I get that all the time. Yeah. If you can do it, why isn't everyone?
Yeah, why isn't everybody doing it, right?
Yeah.
So like, what I love about this information is once you have it and you execute on it, it's a nice little niche you can carve out for yourself to buy some property. So Brad, what would you say to somebody who's thinking about changing their career to getting into real estate?
I would say if you look at the same fundamentals as me, like you want freedom of choice to do what you want, and if you've got a full-time job, you need to chunk your time in the evenings to start doing research, or get up early and start doing research. It's not a get-rich-quick. It does take a lot of research. It does take driving the properties, and it does take going to the auctions. But if you're looking for that outcome, then that's what I do. Chunk your time. Say we'll spend 2 hours a night researching and stuff like that. Yeah. So
Excellent. Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest things is people, they maybe get a real estate training book and then they read it a bit, maybe they put in an hour or two here and there, when it's really the cumulative of doing these little steps over and over again that really get you down the road.
I mean, the other one is I've seen it before, they go to one auction, they don't get nothing, they go, oh, this don't work, and they just don't do it again. And they've wasted a lot of time, you know.
Yeah.
It's a business, you've got to do it all the time. You've got to keep going to the auctions, keep doing the research. If you want to get the deals, that's what you need to do. You need to put the hours in.
So like when you came to the seminar that we did and the trainings and stuff, tell us about the 4 best deals that you've done that our trainings have helped you with. Kind of the purchase price and how much money you've made.
Okay, so I'd say that the first one was the deal I told you about. I mean, I still made $20,000 out of it. It was still a great learning curve to, even though I went through the contractor period of doing it up. I made $20,000 out of that. I bought 15 properties in Indiana. They were a commission to sale, so we had about a 4-month redemption on them. The first one I sold within a matter of months for $36,000, and I only had about $2,000 into it. So that's a great return. Yeah. Another one was one recently. The third one would have been one recently I just sold. It was an apartment building that I bought for $32,000. We did hold that for a year because we was going to rehab it, but in the end someone approached us and said, would you sell it, and offers us $150,000 cash. Nice. So it's like, do you want to go down the route of waiting a year to rehab it and dealing with all that hassle, or do you just say, right, we're buying these properties so cheap, let's just sell them, get the cash in, and reinvest the money into the next deal? I mean, that's the kind of strategy we're doing there. Yep. And I would say the fourth one was probably I've not sold it yet, but I bought a large 4-acre mansion down in Texas. It's assessed at $600,000, and we picked up for $32,000. Nice. Yeah.
One of my favorite stories of Brad's is a lot of people, when they come into liens and deeds, they want to know how much they need to get started.
Yeah.
And what I love about this business is it doesn't matter if you have $500 or a couple thousand.
Yeah.
If you put in the right effort, you can find the deals, and after a while, Brad actually just found a couple really good ones.
Yeah.
So tell these guys about the 2 properties. I think they were like $1,500 each or something.
Yeah. So last year I went to an auction, and we picked up 2 properties, both for $3,000, like 3-bedroom ranches. One of them was full of stuff. It was like a hoarder. The other one had a tenant in there, so we weren't too sure what was going on. We spoke to the tenant, and the tenant said, "Oh, we're happy to pay rent, but we need some repairs done on the house." So I said, "Okay." So this wasn't me. This was the realtor, by the way. The realtor asked her, "So what rent would you pay?" And she said, $500 a month. So I only paid $1,500 for the house, and the tenant's willing to pay $400 a month.
Yeah.
So I know I've got to put about $5,000 into the house just to get it. There's certain maintenance that needs to be done, but you couldn't get that deal anywhere.
So you bought it for $1,500, $500 a month rent instantly.
Yeah,
How much did you have to put into it?
I will put about $5,000.
But you haven't put any money into it yet.
No, not yet.
So bought it for 15, instant $500 a month. And what's the value of it?
About $60,000.
Oh,
yeah,
that's amazing. And you did two like that.
I got two like that. What, both across the road from each other.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Like it's those. This is where you truly in this business. There's nothing like it out there in that regards. The opportunity that you can have by just taking that action and sticking to it is extremely lucrative when you compare it to other types of real estate investing. And Brad's a great example of that. So for people, like, what would be your tips? You said earlier a little bit, for people getting into this, put in the time. What are maybe two specific tips they could take from this to implement?
So I guess it depends whereabouts you are in the country, but I'd say you start local. Start local to where you live. So if you live in Indiana or you live in Washington State, start looking at the auctions in your area and start compiling a list in a spreadsheet. But the biggest thing is chunking your time. Is saying, well, I'm going to spend 2 hours a day on this business in the evenings, and just stick to it. I mean, it's not a get rich quick scheme. You're not going to make money on the first deal, most likely, or the first auction. You need to go to a couple of auctions, and just it's a matter of momentum. Keep doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Keep doing it. Yeah.
Interesting. So what's really funny is as you guys get into this, there's going to be crazy things that happen like here and there. Tell us something that's funny that just happened on one of your properties.
This is the one with the auction.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the one of the properties we bought. We bought them both for $3,000. One of the properties was abandoned, pretty rough shape like the tax sale properties are. It was absolutely full to the roof of stuff. And when we went in there, we found it was all like Star Wars memorabilia and like all this stuff worth money. So rather than put it in a dumpster, we got an auction company in, and they said they would auction it all off, clear the whole house, and they would take 30% of the profit, and they would give the rest to me. So I thought, that's great. Whatever I make is going to pay for the house and pay for the refurb. What a fantastic deal. So it was all going down the road to be done. It was put in the paper, and then suddenly the owner come out from nowhere.
Really?
Yeah, and tried to say they're going to sue me for selling their stuff. Even though the house had been empty for 4 years.
Wow.
It still worked out well. I ended up doing a deal with them where they, I said, well, as long as you clear it out by Friday, you can have it. They cleared all the house out, swept it up, so I didn't have to get a dumpster in, so it was clean and ready to rehab. So
nice.
It's a win-win situation, really.
Excellent. Yeah, like there's going to be some interesting things that happen along the way in this business, but kind of the point that we're always trying to make is if you just take action with this stuff, we have the books and the trainings and these videos to show you what to do.
Yeah.
I think Brad's a great example of where you can go if you just
definitely
apply yourself to it.
Yeah.
So you've been full time with this for how long now?
I've been a full-time investor now for about 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
I was fortunate enough to be doing property before I got involved in Tax Liens Deeds, so I kind of knew the auction, but in England.
Yep.
So I had a bit of background in that, but I've been a full-time investor for 4 years. Yeah.
And what's really cool is he's been doing so well with this sort of stuff. He's kind of caught the attention of local investors, and they actually decided to put him in a book, put him on the cover, and it's called Real Estate Action. And it's a really great book about buying real estate. Buying real estate, understanding it is easy, doing it is the challenge. Like that cover
is it, isn't it?
That sums it up exactly. It's like understanding it is easy, but doing it is very challenging. So he's got this book has several people in the book. A section on Brad talking about tax liens and deeds. We'll put a link to it below if you guys want to check it out.
Yeah.
But it's a great book, and it's just a great example and story
Of what you
what you can do, because you never set out to.
No, I never set out to be in the book. I just got attention of the author saying, we would love to have in the book to do with tax deeds and liens and what you've bought and what you've sold, and it's all in there. It's all I've got examples in there of what I've bought and what I've sold, and what the mistakes people have made as well. So it's a great book.
Yeah. Excellent. So thanks, Brad.
No problem.
Coming
Thanks for
on.
having me, Dustin.
We'll have him on again. So
Yeah.
we'll see you guys soon. Thanks for watching.